Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to Midwest Sagacity. I'm Midwest Savage, and thank you for stopping by. Look, over the last 3 years, we've been hearing a lot about January 6th and how all the people that were involved and like-minded people around the nation are a threat to democracy, basically Republicans and Libertarians. Hell, while New York is going through biblical floods, a Democrat decided to commit a crime with a diabolical intent to subvert democracy itself, while they're voting on a bill to prevent a government shutdown, all while screaming, people are gonna starve. Man, isn't this ironic? This should be a good one. Let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm not going to talk too much, but I do want to raise one question before we get started. What are the Democrats willing to do to make everybody who doesn't adhere to their ideology look bad? Go ahead and drop it in the comments below. I'm sure there's going to be some funny ones. I can't wait to read them. Let's get into this. This is something, let me tell you. All right, here's the video. This is a Fox News report, but don't get it twisted. This is on CNN, NBC, MSNBC. It's on all the stations. So this isn't like one of those things where Fox is trying to go after a Democrat or anything like that. This is actual real news, not fake news. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
That's attention for you. New York Congressman Jamaal Bowman, the former school principal, caught red-handed pulling the fire alarm inside a House office building. The drama started earlier this afternoon when the House Administration Committee alerted reporters that the congressman pulled the fire alarm. Bowman told Fox he needed to open the door badly and thought that pulling the alarm would do the trick. Meanwhile, House Republicans...
Okay, so one thing there. Jamaal Bowman used to be a principal, and a principal is well versed with evacuation drills, how fire alarms work, everything like that. So to even try to use that excuse, either he was a dumbass principal or he's just straight up lying. If this type of stuff don't piss you off, man, I don't know what's going to get you fired up, because, man, it's ridiculous.
Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene pointed out that Bowman violated the same law being used to prosecute January 6 rioters.
Yeah, so January 6th, there were a lot of people there. Now, not all of them could be charged with the crimes of inciting a riot or, trying to start an insurrection, and they couldn't slap 18 years on them like they did the Proud Boys leader. No. But they are trying to go after everyone that was there. If they have them on video, they're coming after you. And a lot of the charges that they're throwing on them is what they're about to talk about right now.
I want to talk about Jamaal Bowman pulling the fire alarm. Capitol Police are questioning him right now because it's on video. That he violated the exact same law that January 6th defendants are being prosecuted for every single day. He violated the exact same law, interrupting an official proceeding, and by pulling a fire alarm, it's on video.
Yeah, so interrupting an official proceeding, and for him to say that he did this, it was an accident, bullshit. Come on now. He was trying to interrupt that proceeding. Why might he do that? Well, I don't know. Maybe to make since the House is mainly, majority Republican, maybe to make them look bad, because then, if they actually agreed on something, well then, can't make them look bad, because then that means they were working with the Democrats to try to figure something out, right? So what are they willing to do to try to make them look bad? I mean, this was hours before they had to have this hashed out. or the government was going to shut down. So why would you even do this?
And, we had a couple congressmen who were quick to take to X to definitely weigh in on the matter. We have Congressman Troy Nels, who said, holding up a pair of handcuffs, Jamaal, are you ready?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we showing? Do we have a full screen to show that? Oh, maybe not. We also have Brian Mast, who put up next to each other a door and a fire alarm just to make sure that Congressman Bowman knows the difference.
I mean, it's not hard to tell. But they're making these jokes, but that's not what he said happened. He pulled the fire alarm with the intent that it would open the doors. Now, for whatever reason, he was late. Maybe he had something more important to do than try to, figure out the nation's budget so that people could eat. That's what they've been screaming this whole time. And then he interrupts the proceeding by pulling a fire alarm.
Between the two, Joey, I'm going to start with you on this. First of all, they actually Marjorie Taylor Greene made a valid point. Was this illegal in the sense that at minimum, it is a misdemeanor in DC area to pull a fire alarm if you are not concerned for a true fire.
Okay, so the question isn't whether it was illegal or not. Definitely illegal. At the very least, a misdemeanor. Now, did he interrupt an official proceeding? Yes. That's what the January 6th people are being charged for. So how is this okay? And he's part of the group that is trying to go after and prosecute these people. And then he does that. I mean, that's just, wow. I don't know how you guys could keep voting for these people.
At most, you also have the obstruction of official proceedings, which is what you're seeing on a lot of January 6th charges. What's your take on it?
I worked in the Cannon House office building. I'd walk up a lot of steps just to get to a door. I was never on time sometimes because of all the work I had to put in to get in there. I never was in such a pinch to try to get a door open that I confused a fire alarm for a door handle. So I don't know.
See, this is the one thing that I know they're trying to make fun and everything, but he wasn't mistaking it for a door handle. He pulled the fire alarm on purpose. He knew it was a fire alarm. I mean, it says fire alarm right on it. Now, maybe the doors were locked and he couldn't get through. And he thought that would open them. No. You don't pull a fire
he's obviously trying to lie his way out of this. I think I can say with a certain amount of certainty, he pulled the fire alarm on purpose and he did it to obstruct what was happening. And, I just hope that
what I really hope is that
Hakeem Jeffries is so mad about it that he gets handled from within. That's what I really hope.
Well, you know what? We did have a reporter. There was a reporter who was able to catch up with Jamaal Bowman outside of their office. And this is what was said. Bowman said, I was rushing to make a vote. I was trying to get to a door. I thought the alarm would open a door. And
okay. Why would you need to pull an alarm to open a door? You either push your way through or pull it open. I mean, that's how doors work, or they're locked.
The reporter asked, so you pulled a fire alarm to open the door?
I don't think that's why.
Bowman, yes. Reporter, how does that make sense? Bowman, exactly. What do you mean? Reporter, when have you ever pulled a fire alarm? You thought it says fire on it. Bowman, I was just trying to get my vote. The door that's usually open wasn't open. And I didn't mean to cause confusion. I didn't know it was going to trip the hole. I didn't know. I mean, Jason.
All lies. Of course, he just got caught up. I mean, at least the reporter asked him the right question and then followed it up with, how does that make sense? You don't usually see these reporters really go after them. A lot of times they just want to get their take and they roll out and they don't really try to get at them. Exactly. When do you ever pull a fire alarm to open a door? You never do. And he knows this. He's a principal. He knows how they work. The question is, why did he really do it?
You were in Congress. I mean, this. What's your take on this?
Sounds like an idiot. Let's go ahead and put that picture back up. If you look behind
Those
the
are nicer
congressman,
words
there
than I
are
do.
2 doors with push handles. Now, they may have said, don't open, there's a fire, it caused the fire alarm to go off. It would have achieved both. It would have opened the door and caused the fire alarm to go off. But no, he did it. He's got his hand up. I want to see a picture of what's going on there. But he should be treated. He's the one that went out there like everybody else and said, nobody's above the law. If he didn't have that little pin on his
Exactly. And I'm really, you guys aren't getting tired of this two-tiered system when it comes to law. I don't know how this would not piss you off. If this keeps happening to these senators, congressmen, presidents, secretaries of state, all the people at the highest parts of the government, even to the lowest parts of the government, committing these crimes and getting out of it, while everyday people, we would have been arrested on the spot. We wouldn't be allowed to walk around and do anything. We would be in handcuffs and sent straight to jail. Why is this guy not in handcuffs? At minimum, he broke the law with a misdemeanor. Not only that, he broke another law, interrupting an official proceeding. 2 laws, and people are being arrested and charged for this stuff right now. They're getting put in handcuffs right away. Why is he not been charged? Why is he not in handcuffs? If a person walked into that building, pulled that fire alarm, a normal person, and waited around and said the same thing he did, he'd be in jail. It's not right.
coat that says congressman, that person probably would be charged with interrupting a government proceeding. That's exactly what he did in this case. Critical time to vote. We got hours till funding runs out on the whole government. The entire Cannon office building had to be evacuated. Police were called, fire departments called, and something's got to happen.
Yeah, and they want to talk about climate change, global warming, and all that, and you just wasted, a bunch of diesel engines coming in, cop cars, everybody. I'm sure there was quite a few that probably actually showed up because, it is where they're voting, and this is where our representatives are. So I'm sure that a lot of police, fire trucks, everything showed up. All the waste. For what?
There's got to be a consequence.
And it came on the heels of the Democrats saying they wanted more time before the vote. So I don't know. I don't know about that story. But Kevin McCarthy himself, House Majority Leader, he's saying there should be an ethics investigation.
I don't even know at this point, what an investigation. Why is there an investigation even needed? I mean, you've seen what he did. He admitted to doing it. Now, his intent or whatever, sure. I mean, you could try to determine that. But a lot of times with normal people, it doesn't matter your intent. If you break the law, you're charged and you're found guilty of breaking that law. It doesn't matter what your intent was. The only time that really matters is like murder. So did you purposely do it? Did you accidentally do it? Do we charge them with homicide or manslaughter? But stuff like this, we would be charged and it wouldn't matter what your intent was.
I think ethics should look at this, but this is serious. This should not go without punishment.
I agree.
This is an embarrassment. You're elected to be a member of Congress. You pulled a fire alarm in a minute of hours before the government being shut down, trying to dictate that government would shut down.
Right. And, it would have made the Republicans look bad.
What's going through a person's mind like that?
Well, Sarah Bowman was a former middle school principal. I mean, how do you think he handled if students were going to pull a fire alarm? I mean, that's all he knows to do. If he doesn't want, he's like, okay, so if someone's caught smoking in the bathroom or someone doesn't want to take a test, I know you pull the fire alarm. And that's what he did.
Exactly. He learned
Right.
from the best, from his students, and now he's taking it all the way up to Capitol Hill. And actually, I have to say, there was a little sense of humor in this because the Democrats have been riding the high horse lately in all of this, saying, oh, look at the Republicans, look at them, they're fighting in the back. You got Matt Gaetz and the speaker behind the scenes, ready to throw blows. Everybody's upset, on the Republican side. And now you've got the Democrats, right, who have to look at Jamaal Bowman and just be like, oh, wow, you did this to us right now, right at the very end. So it's kind of a little bit humorous. And I like the way the speaker laid it out. Like, he pulled the fire alarm, just the
Right.
way the speaker does that.
The way he did
McCarthy
that
is just so
probably just made
nonchalant
him
about it. But this is
feel
definitely an eye opener for the American people about what is going on. So anybody out there, any American who feels like, we've put the best of the best in Congress, this is an
Yeah,
example
right.
of what
Nobody feels that way. I'm sorry.
I mean, Jason's
Listen,
pretty
I love you.
amazing.
Nobody
Jason
sits
is
around and feels
amazing.
that way. Okay, I don't know where you got that from.
That's right. But now we have evidence, pure evidence of this, right? Pure evidence of this.
Jason, former
Right. And that's a good point. There's evidence. He should have been arrested. And this should really tell, all those people that like to vote Democrat, this should really tell you what they're all about. They're all about you following the rules and putting laws into place that make ordinary people become criminals. And so they adhere to their ideology or be a criminal because of the laws that they like to pass. But at the same time, they don't follow those rules. Not at all. They just want the servants. See, to them, you're the servants.
member of Congress. What's your take on what McCarthy's saying? Do you think about the ethics investigation?
I mean, there could be an ethics investigation. Look, Republicans got to
Or
make
should
sure.
charges be brought? I mean, he was obstructing the official.
Republicans got to make sure that they don't jump right to the conclusion. This is an opportunity for Republicans to show that they're the adults in the room. Do an investigation.
I don't really know why. Why do you got to show anything? This is clear-cut case of laws being broken. It doesn't matter the intent or anything. You could prove that all in court. Screw the investigation.
If he did it, they should be charged with it, and there should be consequences.
Well, isn't he? He already said he did it.
He did do it.
He's like,
He admitted to
yeah,
it.
no, I did it.
If he
It was
did it,
well, first,
Exactly.
but do you
have to
remember?
prove it?
Do you remember though? The official response was from his staff.
That was just dumb what she said. Well, of course he said he did it, but we had to prove it. No, you don't. You're not innocent until proven guilty. If you admit to the crime, you're guilty. You don't have to. Wow.
That said, oh, he was running quickly and it was an accident, which obviously.
So
we have
here's
a
how this
video of
investigation
that.
may go. If he texts his comms director, I'm not going to get there. I'm going to pull the fire alarm so I can get there. So
That's
that's
a problem.
where an investigation, like we're going to look at your cell phones. What did you say to your staff? Did Hakeem Jeffries?
But again, who cares about the intent? I mean, at that point, when you're trying to do an investigation and dig all that up, all you're trying to do is destroy the man. You don't even have to. Put him in
tell
jail.
you to go down there and cause a scene real quick. That's where an investigation would go. Quite honestly, as an American, yes, I would love to see accountability for this. This is a little bit funny. It's a whole lot ironic.
Right.
But the speaker has been walking around as a man defeated for a couple of days right now. I don't know he's going to make it till Christmas as the speaker.
All right, guys, what's my take on all this? Well, this pisses me off quite a bit. I can't remember since I've been born of something like this ever happening, and I don't know if it ever has, where someone pulls a fire alarm to stop a vote while their party and him are saying that we need to get this done. Just pass our bill with all our crap in it. Otherwise, people are going to starve to death. And then he does that with the intention to have the government shut down and make the Republicans look bad. So the question in the beginning, what are the Democrats willing to do to make Republicans, Libertarian, and everybody who doesn't adhere to their ideology look bad? I think what they're willing to do is yes. I mean, that's pretty much everything. Doesn't matter. They're willing to blackmail, commit crimes. They go after sitting presidents with a bunch of bogus charges just to keep him from getting anything done. And now they're slapping on a bunch of charges just to keep him from running because they know they can't win. They don't want people to know that the Republicans were working with the Democrats to try to get something passed. They want you to just think they don't want nothing. They didn't want nothing to do with it. If this wouldn't have came out, if it wouldn't have got told to the reporters, they would have got away with this, and it could have possibly shut down the government, and everyone would have blamed the Republicans. Would they use the FBI to spy on their opposition? Yes, they have. Would they use the FBI to go after political dissidents? Yes. They are doing it right now. Would they have people come out 20, 30, 40 years later and say that you fondled them just because you're speaking out against their ideology? Yes, they're doing that now. There's a lot of people that have been accused and never charged, everything dismissed because it's all crap. Now, the latest one is Russell Brand. Who knows where that one will go? It's possible that he may or may not have. But again, timing's weird. About to be an election year. He's speaking out against him. So what are they willing to do? I guess a little bit of everything. And I think people really need to realize that you are taking part in this by voting these people in. So if you don't like criminals, you don't like them stealing your money and all that kind of stuff, stop voting those type of people in. Stop voting for mayors that let teenagers come through and destroy your businesses and rob your stores and cause those companies to leave your neighborhood so you have less resources to deal with. Stop voting for them. Obviously, they don't care about you. You should finally realize that the Democrats in those areas don't care about you. They only want your vote, and they're only going to keep pretending and keep selling you a bunch of lies. They're not going to help you at all. What's it going to take for people to realize that they are the ones that are participating in this type of activity by voting for these guys? What's it going to take for people to wake up and realize what they are doing to them? As I've been saying all along, all it takes is all you got. Peace.